Hello traders, this is Dave with the Compass Options Live Trading Room, and this is the weekly Periscope video. And we get a couple of new things I'm going to look at tonight and when we go through this video to talk about the new dominator system and how I'm using it in conjunction with the Compass system to even increase our probabilities and to increase our profits. So we'll get into that in just a bit. Again, we have to do our disclaimer. All signals and trading opportunities provided here, orally, written, electronically, etc., are for education and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. And neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so we won't be giving financial advice. All right, so let's just cover I update this each week with the drop off some and put some new ones on. We've had some small wins and some good sized wins here. The October trade so far, the ones that I've sent out and the ones we called out in the room, 19 wins and 1 loss, so I'm pretty happy with that. 95% win rate here in October, so that's pretty good. Again, this has been a tough market to trade. We've had to take small profits on some, but the Netflix trade was nice on Friday. 20% winner. We had a nice 25% winner on the time spread and DHR. Lockheed Martin, we had a couple of Lockheed Martin trades, 33% one day and 20% the next. And this low was a beautiful trade, this low trade right here. This was a 37% gain. So we've had a good month. Again, it's a very, very difficult market to trade. I think everybody knows that. And by using the Compass system and only taking the highest probability trades, they've treated us pretty well. So that's kind of just an overview of the trading. What we're looking for in the highest probability trades, and I'm going to modify this a little bit, but we're looking for breakout of the dynamic compression zone. We look for a Heikin reversal candle on that breakout. Again, that gives you a confirmation that the breakout is real. We're looking for a breakout in the same direction as the stock's current trend. And this is basically just saying we're not going to take any counter trend trades. If the stock is bullish and moving up, we look for a compression and a break to the upside, we take it. If the stock is bearish, we look for a break to the downside and we take it short. And also we like to be trading in the same direction as the current market trend. If there is a trend, some days it's just choppy and you don't have any trend, then you have to lean on the individual stocks for your direction. We also want the Compass indicators to all line up, which means we want the modified Laguerre for current time frame to match our trade direction, which of course is blue or green for bullish, red or yellow for bearish. And the modified Laguerre for the multi-time frame also should match the same way. And I also look for Bollinger Band expanding. Typically, if you're breaking out of a dynamic compression zone, your Bollinger Bandwidths are expanding. And we also look for stocks that have relative strength or relative weakness versus a SPY. That's how we judge whether a stock is likely to withstand any kind of a reversal in a SPY. If you get a stock with relative strength of the SPY, in other words, it's moving up more than the SPY is moving up, SPY is going sideways, your stock is moving up, then you have relative strength. And if the SPY reverses on you, you're not going to get hurt so bad because the stock is going to outperform the SPY generally. And if you're going to be taking perhaps a swing trade, you want the daily chart to match the trade direction as well. So if you're going bullish on your 5-minute chart and you're trading intraday bullishly, you would like to have the daily chart match up with that. You want a bullish daily chart as well. Even if you're going to stay in the trade just for the day, it's always good to have the daily chart have the same bias, the same direction as your 5-minute chart. And if we get a pop out of the box signal, that adds conviction to the trade. And again, we have to have patience. We need to wait for these compression breaks because compression breaks stops us from chasing stocks up or down after they've already gone with a lot of momentum, and you enter in and it reverses on you and you get trapped. If you take it on a breakout of a compression zone, then your stop can be pretty close. If it reverses on you, it hasn't fallen too far when you can get out. And I'm going to add something to this as later on in the video. We'll talk about the dominator. Again, this is the trading HA reversals using the Compass system. Same thing. It's basically what we look for as far as the HA reversals. It's just one of the elements that we're using for our entries into some trades. And again, I keep some of these trades up just so we have a lot of new people that come in. I just want to show what we're looking for here. This would be right here. You see this is a compression. This was a dynamic compression at the time, but you got the stock moving sideways, breaking down here on this candle right here, and where we have where we buy, and you see that all of the indicators on the compass system are red here across the board. Your quants, your multi-time frame Laguerre, your current time frame Laguerre, and your bias or your confirmation line. Trend line is also red. So you would get in here, notice that the trend dots, the little red dots, are below the 15, moving down. So this is where you would stay in. You see we start to lose some momentum here. The candles start to get smaller, but the compass system is telling us no reason to get out. And we actually get out here, not because of a break, but because we actually had a profit target set, and that took us out on that profit target. This pink line, by the way, is the VWAP, volume weighted average price. We always only want to be trading short when the stock's below the VWAP and long when the stock price is above the VWAP. All right, this is Oxy. This is one we took a few weeks ago, but I like to show this one. It shows a dynamic compression zone on the daily chart. This is a daily chart. You notice that all of the compass indicators are green here, green or blue, telling us that this is a bullish compression, and we look for a break out of it. And we see that get this big break out of it on the daily chart. So this is the day we actually took it on the 5-minute chart. So let's go to the 5-minute chart on Oxy, and this is where we get in right here. See this long compression here, and then the compass system turns all blue or green. We get in right here in this break, and you just ride it right up. And you can see that you're getting some nice candlesticks up. And you take profits here if you want to. When you get a little red candle and you're getting kind of a big wick here, you can take profits. But the compass system is telling you it's still okay to stay long. And you notice we're above the VWAP here, so we're trading long above the VWAP. And the trend dots are green, moving up. Now this is Tesla. This is a Tesla 5-minute chart, and this has the Fibonacci candles setups in it here. And you notice on the Fibonacci candles, you can see how smooth the trend is. Fibonacci candles, when we get a reversal, we're looking for a candle that has a wick and or a tail, and then we want a flat bottom for a bullish. And we got flat bottoms right here and here, and it's coming out of this dynamic compression zone. So this was a beautiful, beautiful trade. All green, coming out of a dynamic compression zone with a Fibonacci reversal. The green dots are little green dots in the middle, the bigger green dots, those called acceleration dots. Those are telling you that the Laguerre, the current time frame Laguerre, which is the current time frame momentum, is maxed out at 100, which is the highest momentum you can get. The Laguerre doesn't go any higher than 100, so that's telling you that this maximum amount of buying is going on by the institutions in here. And you can see that it just goes up smoothly, flat bottom candles all the way up, just like that. Flat bottom candles until you get a wick and a tails here, so you're getting a little bit of momentum loss. And if you get in down here and you get out up here, you would have had a beautiful trade if you took the options in Tesla. This is a SPY, and this is a Fibonacci candlesticks and a SPY. This is a little different toss chart. This has got the Bollinger Bandwidth in here. I just wanted to show a chart with the Bollinger Bandwidth on it. And this right down here is the current time frame Laguerre. But you notice the SPY breaking down right here. Now these are Fibonacci candles. You see the wick and the tail here, the wick and the tail here, flat top here. Flat top tells you that you got a Fibonacci reversal to the downside. And as long as you've got flat tops like this, you've got good downward momentum. And notice as soon as this turned to a flat top, you notice the bandwidth is expanding. That's telling you that the bandwidth is getting wider, which means you're coming out of compression and the stock is moving pretty dramatically. And this bandwidth expansion, by the way, is going to expand whether the stock is breaking to the upside or the downside. You don't really care. You just want the bandwidth to be expanding. So here we come down with the SPY. We get flat top after flat top after flat top. Now you can see here we're getting a little momentum loss. We're starting to get wicks and tails. The bandwidth is starting to move down. We're still short on the compass system. You notice we had yellow here and then we went red, so we're still short. But if you're in this trade, this is where I would be getting out. I'm not gonna. Once you've lost momentum and you're starting to get these candles like this, you might as well take profits. Now, if it turns back down again, you can always re-enter. But again, you see we finally went blue over here as the bandwidth come down. It tells you we're in a tight compression here. You don't want to be in the trade then. All right, here's another SPY trade. Same thing here. You see we get a breakdown below. There's a VWAP right there, the pink line. It breaks down below the VWAP, and we get a nice candle to the downside. Again, it goes from blue to yellow here. This is all a sell signal right here. You get in right here, and down it goes, and you just keep riding it down. And again, you can see the momentum is being lost here. You would get in here, and you would get out here, and you see that the trend dots are red moving down below the 15. You're below the VWAP. Everything is good, and you would take your profits right in here. You don't want to stay in the trade when this happens. You can see the current time frame momentum gear went blue here. So this would have trade would have taken you from here down to here and then get up. And this was Meta. This was a nice trade we took a few weeks ago. I just like to keep this up. But see the dynamic compression zone on the daily chart. This is a daily chart. Here's the dynamic compression zone right here. The stock is just kind of moving along in this compression zone. It pops out of it right here to the downside, right when everything goes red or yellow. Notice we go from blue to yellow. Everything's red or yellow. We take a trade on this candle. This was a daily chart, so it would have been off the 5-minute candle. You see it move down for several days, and we took it here, and then we get out here. We flattened out a little bit. This was a pivot point right here that was giving it some resistance. So we took profits, but it actually moved down more after that. This was Splunk. This was a nice trade that we had as well. Again, you see it coming out of this dynamic compression zone. This is on the daily. You see the Splunk. We had this for a few days actually, but you see how it broke down out of this dynamic compression zone down to the downside. You see everything went red or yellow. All of the signals are telling you to be short, and you could just ride it down. And I think we get out over in here actually. I don't think we wrote it all the way down to here, but be no reason to be in when you get a candle like this when you come down from here. And this is the compass system is basically telling you what the institutions are doing, and it's giving you all the information you need to trade these trades successfully, whether it's a 5-minute chart or a daily chart. And this is a tough market to trade in, so this is extremely helpful to everybody in the room. Now this is a daily SPY as of Friday, and you can see that the SPY has moved up to the 200. This was right back here in August. It came down pretty precipitously, kind of ramped back up again to the 50-day or the 100-day, and fell really, really bad, hard, came back up and then fell again. We keep putting in lower lows. Now we're rallying off of that right now. We're rallying off with this big candle right here. This was a big day in the market right there. But we're starting to move up, but we've got some resistance above, and we're still in a bear market for the year. So the SPY has been trending down since January. Every time it's made a high, the high has been lower than the previous high, and then it makes a new low, and the low has been lower than the previous low. So that's the definition of a downtrend: lower highs and lower lows. And so this is where we are right now. We had a pretty big day on Friday. So the market's trying to find some support. We're in earnings season, which tends to give it a little bit of a lift. So we'll see. All we can do is just basically trade what the market is giving us. Now this is a dominator. Let's talk about the dominator system for a little bit. Dominator system is pretty new. I don't know, 6-7 weeks old. And the dominator system is looking at something other than what the compass system is looking at. The compass system is looking at by looking at the current time frame Laguerre, the multi-time frame Laguerre, a multi-time frame on the quants. It's looking across multiple time frames, and it's determining institutional buying and selling based on that information. In other words, when you've got multi-time frame and current time frame Laguerre and the quants all lined up across multiple time frames, that kind of a move is extremely unlikely to be moved by anything except institutions. Retail traders aren't doing that. So the compass system is telling us what the price movement looks like that the institutions are buying into. Now, the dominator system is completely different. The dominator system is looking at what's called market internals. Now, this is what the market internals are down here. Now, it's looking at the market internals. Now, the market internals are made up of stocks that are moving up on up volume and stocks that are moving up on up ticks. So you're looking at stocks that are moving up on up volume and up ticks at the same time, and stocks that are moving down on down volume and down ticks. So it's not related to the price. It's dependent on the kind of the price movement that's based on volume and ticks. So it's looking at the volume and ticks. It's called market internals, and it's calculated or looked at across 5 different indexes. It's looking at the Dow, it's looking at the New York Stock Exchange, it's looking at the Qs, the NASDAQ, the SPY, the S&P 500, and the Russell 2000. It's looking across all 5 of those indexes and looking at number of stocks moving up on up volume and up ticks, number of stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks. Then when it identifies a disparity, a significant disparity between the stocks moving up on up volume and up ticks and the stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks, it's going to give you a signal. And that these lines down here are the 5 different indexes and 10 different lines with volume and ticks, So it's showing you when you have all red, you basically have basically a bearish. You have bearish market internals. When you have a lot of mixtures like this, you have neutral market internals. Now this is only presented on the Ninja 8 platform. You can't get it on anything besides Ninja 8, and it's coming from a data feed by a company called Kinetic. Now Kinetic puts out this streaming information from market open to market close. It doesn't do any pre or post, and Kinetic generally does not give this information to anybody except generally big institutions. But they do have a plan with Ninja that Ninja can get this data. So they'll feed it to Ninja, and you have to buy it from Kinetic. And so you buy it. You pay $69 a month to get the market internals data feed that feeds into your Ninja 8 platform. Now, if you're not going to trade off a Ninja 8, you're just going to use it for your indicators. You don't have to pay for Ninja 8. You can get it for free, but you do have to pay for the Kinetic data. Brightline doesn't get any of that, but it's giving us information, market internals, that you're not going to get anywhere else. I mean, this is I've been using this now for about 2 weeks, and this is really, really impressive. So the things you're looking at on a particular stock, like this on a 5-minute on the SPY, you're looking at the first thing you're looking at is the background. See, this background is black. Black background is a neutral background, which means we're not going to trade. This is not giving us any kind of trend. The background is telling us what the multi-time trend is. If we've got black, it's telling us it's a neutral multi-time trend, and there really is no trend one way or the other. So to get the best setups, what you want to do is wait for the background to either go to like a yellow and pink or a bluish and green. Yellow and pink would be bearish. So you notice when we crossed into this yellow right here, that now we have a downtrending market, multi-time frame and downtrending market, and we put out a sell signal is created right here. These little arrows are sell signals. The sell signals are being created when you have a multi-time frame, like in this case, bearish trend that matches up with the bearish market indicators. So if your market internals and your trend, in other words, the trend being the yellow, the market internals being the red, when those match up, then you've got a beautiful trade. So this is you could take this short here. Now the key on something like this is not to take them when they're too far extended. You don't want to be taking them down here. What you want to do is be taking them off. For example, on this particular chart, you would want to take them as it breaks down below this 15 EMA right here. That's what this little red line is. That is the perfect entry on that. And you get 3 big fast down candles, and that's worth a lot of money right there on that little drop down. And again, it kind of chops around, but we've still got pretty red. It's mostly red right through here, and then you start getting a lot of mixtures here. But we've still had sell signals all the way. But again, if you get in here and get out here, you could take it short again here as it breaks down below the 15. you get about a candle or two down, and then you would get out. But this is what the dominator system looks like. This little marker up here that you will see in the corner is telling you whether it's bearish, which it's red, green if it's bullish, and yellow if it's neutral. But you don't even really have to look at these. What you're looking at is the background and these indexes. All right, so this is the dominator. I'm using it in conjunction with the compass system, and I'll explain to you in just a minute how I do that and how effective this is. I took in the first, last week, since Friday to Friday, I took 26 SPY trades in the room. I wasn't calling them all out. I was taking them based on the compass system. I was basically testing it out. So I took 26 SPY trades based on the high probability entries. The compass system had to have a break. I needed to either be breaking below the 15 for the shorts or breaking above the 15 for the longs, or I needed to be breaking through a VWAP or like a pivot point. But I took shorts only when I had a bearish background and market internals were bearish. And anyway, I took 26 SPY trades, 25 wins. I had 1 loss, which was for 5 cents. So that's my test case so far on using this in conjunction with compass. So this is a SPY on Friday. Now this is the compass system on the SPY on Friday. Now this right here, you notice we have a black background here, and then we go over to the bluish, which is it's bullish. It's not the most bullish, but it's bullish. The green is the most bullish. But you notice here at 11:45, we have all the indicators went all green. Everything was green. So this tells us the market internals are green across the board. You notice that was our first buy signal right there. And you notice that if you wanted to, you could have got in right here. And you notice you had buy signals in green, generally green. You had a few little red spots, but nothing that would get you out. You could have followed this all the way, and you notice that we would have had quite a huge gain if you stayed in. Now I was in and out, so I'm taking a trade here, for example. I took this trade and I get out up here when it reversed, and then I waited for the stock to come back to a support level, and either a support level on the SPY, on the compass, or a support level on here. This right here was a perfect entry. You see how it came down and touched the 15 and then moved up. This was a beautiful entry. Everything's green. You've got the green background. You've got just a couple of red here, but it's giving you, as long as it's giving you signal is telling you that the number of stocks moving up is swamping the number of stocks moving down. And we've been green all day long. There'd be no way on Friday that I'm going to be taking any shorts. When I have a dominator system that's giving me all this green and green arrows, there's no way I'm touching a short. I'm going to stay long until this tells me that it's reversing, and it never did on Friday. Friday was a good long stretch. But anyway, I think 4 trades on Friday off of this compass, off of this dominator system, and they were all successful. So, but you can see that now we're looking at, now we've got market internals and we've got institutional buying and selling in the compass system. And I'm using this inside the room. This is what I'm referring to when I talk about it in the room, that I show from time to time, and which is how I'm going to be indicating when the probabilities are even higher. If we're using the highest probability trades off the compass system, and then we incorporate the dominator system to tell us what the market internals are, if we've got a highest probability trades on compass and we get a dominator setup that's telling us we've got a high probability of market internals to the upside, you've just increased your win rate by a lot. And as I'll talk about here in just a minute, you can increase your stock size, the size of your trade, and you can stay in it longer. With something like this, as long as you get green here and you don't have any breakdowns below this 15, you can just stay right in it. All right, and this was a Netflix trade. Now we took Netflix on Friday. I called it out, and we actually took it a couple times. But I want you to see, this is the Netflix background. You notice the Netflix background was also all green, and we were getting buy signals across the board here on Netflix. And we could look Netflix on Compass, but it popped up here and moved sideways, and popped up and moved sideways, and then it came back a little bit here. So on a pullback like this, where you're just coming off of there, if you were inside a compass, you would probably see a dynamic compression zone right here, and it would break to the upside. But you see how sweet this was to trade this Netflix. We had a beautiful call debit spread on it, and I took some straight calls on it. And if you get in here and just ride it up like here until it starts to get red again, you've made your day. And you notice that these are always going to be reflective of the market internals for the indexes. So these are going to be look the same on any stock that you look at, but any individual stock you look at is also going to have its own buy signals and also its own background. So that's pretty important. All right, so here's the compass dominator combo that I call it. All right, so if we're looking at the compass dominator combo, what we're looking at on the dominator system is we're looking for the bullish background. So we get a dominator background that's green or bluish, and a dominator buy signals. That is going to be our bullish signals for the compass, for the dominators combo of the dominator system. Bearish, of course, is the background is red or pink, and sell signals. So this is what I look at on the compass, on the dominator system, to decide if we've got a really, really high probability trade. And what I say here is, when you get this information, and you can either take the SPYs or the Qs, but if you're looking at stocks, it's possible to take larger trade size. You get a stock that you like, that's really, you like it long, like with Netflix, and you've got a bullish setup on the dominator system. You can take largest trade size, and you can usually stay in the trade longer. It's giving you a little bit of a support level below your concern for the trade can be a lot smaller, because you're not likely to get as much whippy action like you do when we don't have these. When we can still take compass system trades for sure, but if we take the compass system trades in combination with the dominator, we've really got a tremendous combination here. And the best entry levels for trades when the dominator aligns, in other words, when we have let's say a bullish dominator like we had on Netflix, you're looking for a bounce off the 15 EMA, and you can take that either off the dominator or you can take it off the compass. We're looking for a bounce off the VWAP. If the stock comes down, touches the VWAP and bounces to the upside, or if it comes up and touches it and goes to the downside for short. So a bounce off the VWAP would be another level you can get in, or a bounce off of the white pivot point line, which occur occasionally, or a breakout of the dynamic compression zone that we use all the time in our high probability trades. These are the levels that you want to be getting into the trade. In other words, your trade entries should be based on one of these. Basically, it's a stock that's pulling back to support and bouncing to the upside, or going up to resistance and moving to the downside. So this is what I'm going to be using in conjunction with the compass indicators that we use for the highest probability trade setups, and I think this is going to give us even higher win rates and higher profitability. And so that's all. That's it. This is the put credit spreads. I put this out each week. There's video on that. Also, there's video on using debit spreads as a profitable day trade, as we did with Netflix on Friday. Post on the Fibonacci candles. A link to the Compass video library. You can get all of those. If you don't have those videos, you can get them from Rory. He'll send you the link to all of my videos that I've done. And I'm going to do one hopefully this week on using the compass system and the dominator system in combination. And I'm trying to bring added value to the room by incorporating the dominator system with the compass system, because I know not everybody's going to have the dominator system. I think most people in the room have the compass system. If not, everybody should have the compass system to use to get your institutional information. It gives you a huge leg up on the rest of the retail traders. But the dominator system I've got, and I'll be calling it out in the room. I'll show it from time to time, but it'll allow people to take advantage of the dominator system who are in the room that don't actually have the dominator system. I mean, if you want to trade with the dominator system and the compass system, you can get it. I mean, you can get it. You need to put it on Ninja, and you need to pay for a kinetic data feed. But I'm paying for the kinetic data feed, and I'm using that information for everybody in the room to use. So the stocks I'm watching for Monday. I've got 5 bullish stocks and 6 bearish stocks. You can see them right here. And again, we would wait until Monday to see how they go. And what we're looking for is entry criteria. We look for long entries to break over Friday's high with a high probability trade setup. And even with if you got a dominator system, it's a confirmation is even better. Look for short entries below the Friday's low with a high probability trade setup, and try to take the trades that are trading with the market trend. Market's up a little bit tonight. This is Sunday night, so the market's up a little bit tonight, but that's what we'll be looking for in those. And again, some may work, some may not. We don't know what the market's going to do tomorrow, but I looked at the daily charts, and these are the ones that I saw that looked very, they look like good potential. All right, so that's it for tonight, today, and this week on the Periscope. I hope you find this useful. We'll talk more and more this week about using the compass system and the dominator system in combination. Compass system is producing some tremendous results for us. I'm thinking that by adding the dominator system, I'm even going to get into higher probability trades, and I'm going to be able to take a larger size in them. And I think that's really important. So hopefully everybody will be in the room in the morning, and we can talk about this some more. And you can hit me up with some questions on the dominator if you want. I'll have it and be showing it from time to time. I can't really put them both up at the same time, but I have the dominator running all day long. So again, have a great evening or a great weekend, and we'll see everybody first thing Monday morning. And appreciate it. Have a great night.